chasing the puppet master. The next morning, Adrian stood outside the private villa tucked behind Milan's old stone walls, an architectural secret as enigmatic as the man who owned it. He was let in without a word. The butler knew why he came. Inside, the puppet master sat in his sun-drenched parlor, sipping espresso in a linen suit, as if last night had been nothing but a gala of harmless indulgence. "You showed up at the gala," Adrian said without preamble, tension thinly veiled behind his calm tone. The master smiled, setting down his porcelain cup. "Why, yes. I was a donor, Adrian. I won the auction. Just a kind gesture from a gentleman who appreciates art and beauty. I was just there to be honored as people expected." His tone was playful, mocking even. Adrian's jaw tightened. "You scared her. That wasn't part of the deal." The master raised an amused brow. "Deal? I don't recall signing anything. And tell me, why are you so concerned about your haute couture princess all of a sudden?" Adrian looked away, the muscles in his jaw twitching. "I just want to finish what I started. My way. This has nothing to do with you anymore." The master gave a long, throaty laugh, the kind that echoed in places you didn't expect sound to reach. "Oh boy," he said, delighted. "You really do amuse me. So much passion. So many feelings. It's like watching a reality show, just the right amount of drama. But now, I think it's time to turn up the heat. Drama is entertaining, sure, but aggression, now that makes it unforgettable." Adrian stared at him, a flicker of fear, or maybe regret, in his eyes. He realized in that moment he had unleashed something he could no longer control. The master leaned back in his chair, crossing one leg over the other with effortless elegance. "Run along, Adrian. Finish your little game. But do remember," his smile sharpened, "every great show has a shocking finale." The quiet hallway outside Vivi's room held a heavy kind of silence, broken only by the distant sound of housekeeping carts rolling over plush carpet. Adrian stood at her door, his fist halfway raised. His conversation with him, the puppet master, still echoed in his ears like venom sliding through his veins. "You're soft, Dallaire. Don't confuse your target with your purpose." But despite that warning, despite the bruises still shadowing his ribs from last night's punishment, here he was, standing outside Vivi Cross's room. "What the hell am I doing?" he sighed. His hand hovered over the door for another moment before he knocked, sharp and short. A few seconds passed. Then the door creaked open. Vivi stood there, her eyes puffy from crying, dressed in a June sweater that draped loosely over her shoulder. Her hair was hastily pulled into a messy bun, and even without makeup her presence was striking. But her expression faltered the moment she saw him. "Adrian," she said, her voice cautious, small. "You actually came?" He paused, trying to find something truthful enough to say, without saying too much. "I heard from Matteo that you weren't feeling well last night. I came to check on you." She hesitated, then stepped aside wordlessly, letting him in. The room still carried a faint trace of expensive perfume and fear. On the vanity, her phone lay disassembled, drying in a bowl of uncooked rice. A damp tissue was crumpled near the tea set. Adrian took a few steps in, standing awkwardly, unsure of what he was trying to accomplish. "You didn't have to come," Vivi said after a moment, sitting on the edge of her bed, hugging a pillow to her stomach. "I'm fine." "You don't look fine," he said gently. Adrian had just sat down on the small velvet armchair across from Vivi when her tablet buzzed on the nightstand. She ignored it. Then her phone, reassembled but still glitching from its accidental plunge into the toilet, vibrated faintly in the rice bowl. Adrian raised an eyebrow. "You sure you're okay?" Vivi exhaled shakily, reached for the tablet, and opened it. Her face drained of color in seconds. What is it? Without a word, she turned the screen toward him. It was her. A close-up taken at the gala last night. Her eyeliner smudged, her expression lost, her lipstick faded to a trembling mouth. The caption read, VIP meltdown? Influencer Vivi Cross couldn't handle the pressure at Milan's most exclusive couture auction. #fashion fail. #couture drama. More followed. Another photo caught her leaving the venue early, flanked by a hotel staff member, looking disoriented. One TikTok clip zoomed in dramatically on her panicked face, soundtracked with sad violin music. The comment section was brutal. Typical influencer, can't handle real stress. Maybe the dress was too heavy for her ego. Hope she doesn't cry on the runway too. Vivi set the tablet down like it burned. I knew it, she said, voice flat. They were all waiting. Just waiting for me to slip. Adrian stood slowly. Vivi, I worked so hard to be respected in this industry, she went on, blinking quickly. Not just a rich girl with pretty clothes. But they don't care. One night, one vulnerable moment, and I'm a joke again. You're not a joke, Adrian said firmly. She looked up at him. You don't get it. This is my world, Adrian. I am what they say I am. My brand is my life. Adrian crossed to her and crouched beside her chair, steady eyes meeting hers. Then changed the story. She looked at him, confused. You've survived worse, he said. You've walked into rooms full of sharks and smiled. You've turned heads in cities you'd never even been to before. You want to know what I see when I look at those pictures? He tapped the tablet. A girl who had every reason to fall apart, and still showed up. She swallowed. Her eyes shimmered. The industry doesn't want you to break, Adrian added, his voice quieter. It wants you to stay broken. There's a difference. But I don't know how to keep going after this, she whispered. You do it anyway, he said. Because you're Vivi Cross. And you're not done yet. Her lip trembled, and for a second he thought she might cry again. But she didn't. Instead, she leaned back, wiped under her eyes, and gave a small, tired laugh. God, you're annoying when you're right. He smirked. It's a gift. She looked at him again, studying his face, his bruises still faint under the collar of his shirt, the haunted flicker in his eyes he thought he'd hidden. There were wars behind that calm voice. But for now, he was choosing her battle instead of his. There was a beat of silence between them. She looked at him, really looked at him. Was it you? She asked suddenly. Were you the one who told him to come? Adrian flinched slightly. No. You hesitated. I didn't know he'd be there, Adrian said truthfully. But I won't lie to you, I work with him. Not by choice, but I owe him. Or at least I thought I did. Vivi's jaw tightened. He scares me. Adrian nodded, his own anger bubbling beneath his skin. He should. He's dangerous. Vivi blinked. And what about you? He stepped closer, kneeling slightly in front of her, forcing her to meet his eyes. I'm trying to be better than him. But I'm not there yet. She studied him, the storm in her gaze softening. Why are you telling me this? I don't know, Adrian whispered. Maybe because you're the first person in a long time who's made me forget what I'm supposed to be doing. And what is that? He didn't answer. But in his silence, everything about him screamed conflict. The weight of secrets he couldn't unload, the bitterness of betrayal, and the strange, inexplicable warmth of being around someone who saw the broken parts of him and didn't flinch. Vivi looked down. I'm tired of being scared. I'm tired of pretending, he said. And for a moment they just sat there, two people tangled in lies and truths, revenge and comfort, finding an uneasy kind of peace in each other's company.